In the advisor software, relationships between tables can easily be seen via 3 types of table transformations. The first 2 types are copies and links. The third, roll-ups, are covered in another video. A copy is an operation that makes fields in the source table available for use in the destination table, where the values of a key field found in both tables match and are the same data type. So that means they are either both strings or both integers, etc. And a copy is very similar to a join in relational databases. Also, copies don't physically move the field or fields to the destination table. They're just made available for use via the destination table. And this is done to minimize memory use. There are certain situations when you can or cannot copy, and this depends on the relationship between the source key field and the destination key field. So here I have a sample of some higher ed fundraising data. And the key field would be ID, since that's the unique identifier for each entity. And I want to copy rating from the rating table over to entity. And I can tell that just from looking at it that each ID is in the rating table once and each ID is in the entity table once. So I can copy when the relationship is 1-to-1, and this would be the result. You can also copy when the relationship is 1-to-many. So I could copy affiliation over to the gifts table. Each entity is in the entity table once, and in the gifts table, entities can be entered more than once because they can have given more than one gift. And so I can copy, and this would be the result. So let's go into the software and actually perform a copy. So I have the sample data loaded into the software. So I want to copy affiliation from entity to giving. Now, in order to perform copies, you need to go to the project workshop. So go to View, Project Workshop. And if you're not sure the relationship between the tables, you can always check via Project Workshop by expanding the list of tables. And I'm going to use entities, so expand entity, click on ID. And here you can see that each ID is in the entity table once. So now let's look at gifts, ID, and you can see that some IDs can be entered more than once. So it's a one-to-one relationship. And to actually perform the copy, you need to go to the cross-table link wizard, which is this icon here. And click it, and the wizard will open. And click Next. And here I need to select Table Copy. Next. And I'm copying from Entity on ID. Next. To Gift on ID. Next. And I just want to select the affiliation. Then click Next. And you'll get a message saying that it's what's going to be copied. Here you have the option to rename the copy. I'm going to leave it as it. Next, and finish. And then you can see here that affiliation now shows up under the gifts table. Now, affiliation is available for use in the gifts table. So I'm going to put up a bar chart on the gifts table. And select affiliation, and then sum the gift amount. So that's how you do a copy. Now there is a certain situation when copies do not work, and that is when the relationship is many-to-one. So as you can see, the sports table has entities entered more than once. So if I wanted to copy sport to the entity table, you can see that it doesn't match up. And the software would arbitrarily pick one of the sports, and this would be the result, and you would get misinformation. So when that's the case, links are used. And a link is an operation that connects 2 tables in the data pool across a common key field, so that data selection in the original table is propagated automatically to the destination table. And links can be used for any type of relationship, one-to-one, many-to-one, or one-to-many. And generally, selection links are two ways, because generally you want to be able to select on either table and have the selection be propagated either direction. A selection link may also be used by a bar chart to explicitly represent unmatched rows with an additional bar. So you can see that Robert doesn't have any sports records in the sports table. So many times you want to know who's missing from a table or who didn't participate in a sport. That's when you would use an unmatched bar, and it would look something like this. So now let's actually perform this link in the software. So we need to go back to the project workshop and open the cross-table link wizard again and click Next. And I want a selection link, Next, and I'm linking from entity on ID to sports and ID. Here again, you have the option to rename the link. I'm going to leave it as is. Here's where you can choose if it's a two-way or one-way link. I'm going to leave it as a two-way link. This here is an option to create a matching color link in the default color model. Now, if the sports table is already receiving color or assigned a color in the default color model, you will not be allowed to perform the link. So you get an error. So I'm going to uncheck this. And for information on color models, watch our short video on color models. And click Next and Finish. And so I can, if I expand the cross-table links node and the selection link node, I can see the selection link was created. So I'm going to go to the sports, and now I can add the unmatched bar. So I'm going to open the chart toolbar, open the property explorer, and here you can see there's two lines for unmatched bar label and unmatched from link table. So I'm going to put the bar name, and you can label it anything you wish. And then it's linked to entity, and I need to make sure I spell the table correctly. It has to be the same caps, lowercase, etc. And the bar appeared. So now I can, if I want to know who didn't play a sport, I can select this bar, and you can see that the selection was propagated to the entity table. So I can also see who played football, John and Joe. Maybe I want to see just what sports Joe played. I can select Joe. You can see that the selection is propagated either direction. There are some rules and tips for linking. The first tip is to try to stick to one-step links around the central table. So the sample data I was using, the central table was the entity table. And by one step, this means that the other tables, sort, gift, and rating, were linked directly to entity and had no other links coming from them either. This is done to avoid linking circles. So basically the links form a circle among the tables. And so if I would select on entity, the propagation would keep going around in a circle, and this would cause some odd behavior in the software. And then also, links are generally always two ways. This way, like I said before, you can select either table and the selection will be propagated either way. Now, you can manage and edit links and copies in the project workshop. So all you have to do is expand the cross-table links node, and then either the selection links or the table copies or even the table roll-ups. And then just right-click and you'll get this menu to modify or delete. Or you can always go to the task pane and modify or delete it from there. And just some words of caution, some things don't update right away. So links, copies, first step, roll-ups, expression builder, first step, and charts attached to these pages will update right away. But subsequent copies, so if I copied affiliation from gift to rating and edited the original copy from entity to gift, the copy from skips to a rating would not update right away until the data was refreshed. So also if you edited a copy that the field copied over was using an expression builder, the expression would not update until the data was refreshed as well. So just a few more tips. Plan out your link or copy before doing it. So number one, determine the relationship between the tables. Is it one-to-one, many-to-one, one-to-many? And you can check in the project workshop, or you can put up some bar charts or summary sheets on your own. So if it's many-to-one, don't copy. Either link the tables or first create a roll-up to make a one-to-one relationship. And of course, make sure that the key fields you're using are both the same data type. So they're both integers or they're both strings. You will get an error if you try to do a link or copy on two fields that are not the same data type. And after each copy and link, check the data workshop to make sure that the desired results occurred. And so that's how you do links or copies.